This is going to be one of the craziest chapters of Jujutsu Kaisen ever. Not only do Yuji and Yuta give Sukuna one of the worst beatings I've ever seen, Sukuna actually potentially kills Yuta this chapter with a world-ending slash, breaking his domain, but of course Maki gets the revenge shot and hits Sukuna right in the heart, cutting him directly in his soul. And we also got some Megumi action with Yuji directly communicating with Megumi. Yuji does actually use blood manipulation in this chapter, beside the fact that we got to see Yuta go absolutely ham on Sukuna this chapter. This chapter was beyond insane. I really just want to get into this. So be sure to leave a like, it helps out a ton, thank you. And of course, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe for a ton of consistent and quality Jujutsu Kaisen content just like this. Less than 10% of people who actually watch my videos are subscribed, so if you love JJK, I promise you, you won't regret it. And of course, thank you to the special members of the channel. Let us get right into this video. And also, I do apologize if my voice is off. Yes, I'm very ill. I actually have a fever right now. I shouldn't be making this video, but it was just so crazy. This chapter was so insane. I just have to make it. Alright, so the first thing I'm actually going to start with is Yuta actually being dead. Is he dead? Is he alive? It's really 50-50 on this because Sukuna, yes, he actually hits Yuta with a world-ending slash. He disables the hollow wicker basket just to basically cut Yuta in half. And the issue is that a world-ending slash, it goes all the way through and he actually hits Yuta with the exact same cut that he actually hit Gojo with. If Gojo can't heal from it, how is Yuta going to heal from it? Because remember, cursed energy does actually come from the gut. People think it doesn't because of what Todo said. Todo didn't say that it doesn't come from the gut. He just said that you shouldn't think of it that way. You shouldn't think of the flow as in it coming from the gut. You should think of cursed energy as being all around in the body. However, it does originate from the gut, and this is further clarified by Kashimo, who outright confirms, yes, it does come from the gut when he's actually fighting Kinji Akari. This is why Yuki wasn't actually able to heal herself, and she just used what she had remaining to make the black hole. She didn't actually have enough to heal her stomach, and it's why Gojo couldn't heal himself too. And it's exactly where Yuta was cut, so I don't see any reason why Yuta would actually survive this other than someone actually healing him from an external place. And thankfully, we do have Yuji here, and we have Uyu who can teleport in, maybe grab Yuta, bring him back, and Shoko can heal him really quickly. But as Sukuna did say, reverse curse technique is slower if someone else is healing you and you're not healing yourself. It should be around half as weak, so we'll see about that. I do hope Yuta's alive. I know a lot of people saying, oh, Kaio must be rubbing his hands, he must be thriving this chapter now that Yuta's potentially died. No, I'm not. I actually really love Yuta. He's one of my favorites, genuinely. There's no malice here, there's no mask or double agent agenda. I'm reformed. I am a truly reformed Yuta fan. I enjoy Yuta. I hope he's not dead, and I do think that he may come back. It's 50-50 to be honest. Let me know if you guys think he's dead, because it's a tough call to be honest. It really is tough to say if he's gonna live. But now what's even crazier is that Maki stabs Sukuna, if I'm not mistaken, right through the heart, if I'm looking at this correctly. And if you're someone who's been following me on Twitter or just saw my last video, which predicted that not only this would happen, I quite literally predicted the exact circumstances around why it would happen, and even where Maki would hit Sukuna. And just as you can see on the screen, previous video called everything. We predicted that Sukuna would use the world-ending slash on Yuta, we predicted that it would break the domain, and we also predicted that Yuji would interact with Megumi, and even that Megumi would say something along those lines, as well as, of course, Maki hitting Sukuna right there, camouflaged by the domain. Not to sound too much like a twat and suck myself off too much, so I'll stop there, but pretty cool that we predicted everything that would happen this chapter that accurately. But yes, the Maki stuff. She actually hit him right in the heart, and I cannot tell you how I wasn't surprised, because I genuinely, wholeheartedly believed that this was going to happen, because I kept tweeting about it as well. So I'm not surprised per se that it happened, but I'm just shocked that, I guess, that it actually happened, because I wonder how Sukuna's actually going to come back from this. We know Sukuna can actually revive his heart. It's not going to permanently kill him, but remember, Maki's sword is a soul attack, and what I'm more so curious about is why didn't Maki just chop his head off? Would that have not been the best move, since we've seen that Sukuna can actually live without a heart, but he very likely can't live if you rip his head off. I'm pretty sure he can't survive that, even if he is whatever he is, an evolved human or whatever. And what I'm super impressed by Maki with is that she really seems like she's just calm and collected. She has no reaction to what happened to Yuta. It's like, I'm not gonna say she doesn't care, but she's able to just keep it all inside and focus solely on the mission. It's just like Yuji said when Maki came back, and how she was saying, Yuki lost, Yuki's dead, Tengen was taken over all nonchalantly, and even Yuji was saying, wow, this is really weird. It's like she's too nonchalant. It's like she's too calm. She's changed quite a lot. It does remind me of that, and it shows that Maki truly is a warrior, and she's not letting her emotions get in the way, even during a battle. If she does have a reaction to Yuta potentially dying, I imagine it's something we'll see after the battle, or maybe even next chapter for a brief moment. Alright, and let's actually get into the rest of the chapter, because I went completely backwards. Yes, it was actually revealed that Yuta got Sukuna's curse technique by eating the last Sukuna finger, so many of us call this. I was more so on the idea that he ate the hand that Sukuna cut off when Higuruma hit him with the executioner sword, but the Sukuna finger was the most likely option, and it did go that way. A lot of this chapter is just a whole bunch of fighting. I'll keep the text on the screen as I'm speaking too. Sukuna completely cleaves Yuji's guts, and I mean, it's even worse than that time he did with Higuruma, but of course the output is lowered because his output is falling drastically with each Yuji hit, and a lot of this chapter is just them wailing on Sukuna. Like, they are genuinely beating the absolute life out of Sukuna. I don't even think Sukuna was this damaged when he was actually fighting against Gojo. Not to say that they're stronger than Gojo, it's just because, as it was said many times, Sukuna is very nerfed, and that's why they're able to do all of this damage. And remember, they are inside of a domain when Sukuna is, again, has multiple nerfs on his output, can't use half of his arms, has to keep a simple domain up, his output is falling drastically, and of course it's a 3v1 too, so that's why it's so tough on Sukuna. But yeah, it's incredible that they're actually pushing him this far, even with all the nerfs, to the point that Sukuna has to take it seriously. I saw a lot of people saying, oh, Sukuna's still not taking it seriously because he smiled when Maki stabbed him through the chest. No, I think that's just Sukuna's personality. I think it's actually as it gets more serious and as he actually needs to use more power, that's what makes him smile more. As the fight's getting more and more intense and as his life's actually on the line, this is what makes him smile. It's why I think he smiled when he got hit by Maki. Whereas a dull fight isn't going to make him smile, and we know this because he's quite literally forced to gamble his very own life by tanking Angel's sure hit at max output just to kill Yuta, because he's not going to survive in this domain, where he has to use the world-ending slash and use all 4 of his arms to hit that on Yuta. And god, do they push Sukuna far. His face is literally ripped apart like he's the Joker. Yuta cuts one of his arms off. We got some talk about the souls too. I'll leave all the soul talk text on the screen right now, basically saying, oh, you know, it's possible we can split the souls in 2. They won't truly be 1. And Hana further says, if I'm not mistaken, if Yuji can separate it more than enough, then they can hit Angel's curse technique and separate the souls that way. They have this whole plan, and they actually do hit Sukuna with Jacob's ladder, and the plan actually was about to succeed. But of course, as we predicted many times, I think we've predicted this for many months on this channel, and it's not just me, most of you call this anyway, so it wasn't that shocking. But yeah, Megumi doesn't want to live, where he literally says, I don't even care anymore, which is understandable considering everything he's gone through. But of course, this gives Sukuna a chance to hit Yuta when they were about to win a world-ending slash, as we discussed before, and then as I talked about, Maki comes in and hits Sukuna just as he cuts Yuta in half. It's always possible that the cut against Yuta isn't going to go all the way through because Sukuna is missing not just one of his arms, but I think 2. The leaks aren't as clear, but he's at least missing one of the arms, and he is insanely damaged too. I mean, his output has fallen so drastically. I might be coping, but I just really hope Yuta isn't dead. Again, I'm reformed. I don't want Yuta to die. I'm a big Yuta fan. And last but not least, Yuji does actually use blood manipulation in this chapter. He actually makes the blood on Sukuna's face explode. It is the same blood that he actually vomited out on Sukuna's face when Sukuna cleaved his guts. Pretty cool that Yuji has confirmed blood manipulation. It does make me wonder why he hasn't used it beforehand. You know, throughout this fight, he hasn't been using it all. It's possible that he was actually saving it for this moment to catch Sukuna off guard, to hit him in a way where he wasn't expecting it. And I do imagine moving forward, now that Sukuna has confirmed that Yuji has blood manipulation, we'll be seeing a lot of Yuji blood manipulation from this point on. But yeah, it turns out Yuji does have soul abilities and he does have blood manipulation. Both of the theories ended up being true. It's really cool to see. But I gotta say, this was an insane chapter. I just had to make a video on this even though I am very sick. And if you guys did enjoy, be sure to leave a like, it helps out a ton. Thank you. And of course, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe for a ton of consistent and quality JJK content just like this. Like I said in the beginning, less than 10% of people who actually watch my channel are subscribed. So if you love JJK, I promise you, you will not regret subscribing. And of course, thank you to all the channel members as well. It is always much appreciated. That's all from me. Have a great day and take care.